Morning everybody, it's 7:15. It's a beautiful day here in Wellington, sitting in my office looking out at the sunshine. So Thursday today, which means that the house will rise at 6 p.m. and I'll be able to get on a flight and I should be home, I don't know, after 10 p.m. this evening. And tomorrow I will be doing my usual bits and pieces, meetings and so on around Warkworth. Yesterday was one of those strange little days. I had the general debate, which was really good. So I had an opportunity to talk about this government's announcements on immigration and how there's been no announcement at all on international students. And from the New Zealand First perspective, what our greatest concern around international students is that if we continue to treat them or allow certain providers to treat them and certain employers to treat them in the way that they are being treated, that our international reputation will be so trashed that we won't be able to have an international student sort of business or industry for this country. And also downstream it'll affect our domestic students from the perspective of the way that our education system is recognised. So that was really the topic of the general debate. I then had to speak on the Agricultural Compounds and Veterinary Medicine Amendment Bill, which is not my field, that's Richard Prosser's field, but if colleagues are away, then others of us step up and actually step into the breach when it comes to taking those speaking opportunities on behalf of New Zealand First. So it's always, again, it's one of those jobs where you have to be flexible and able to adapt really quickly and speak on things really quickly, so upskill fast. Listen, I just wanted to, I had a little interaction with somebody over through Facebook messaging yesterday. They were asking about the education legislation bill and was it still open for submissions. Now the education legislation bill finished at committee stage earlier this week and so is now sitting for its third reading. So that bill has actually gone past where the public can have their voice. What's at submissions at the moment is the Education Update Bill, Amendment Bill. So that is still open for submissions, and if you go to scroll down on the Facebook page, you'll see a link to where you can go and submit on it. The other thing that's going on that you're hearing about is the funding review, and that's why the teachers, the PPTA and the NZEI are out on their bus around the countryside trying to educate our parents about what this funding review, and one of the proposals at least, the damage it could do to the education system and so therefore to their children and their children's opportunity for education. Now Stephen Joyce, that's in the sort of compulsory sector of education. Now Stephen Joyce has put out a Tertiary Education and Other Matters Amendment Bill 2016. Now this is not a bill that's in the House at the moment, it's a bill that he's put out like as a draft for public submissions. So to industry, to the education industry, and mostly, obviously, it's at that tertiary level. So that's another piece of work that I'm having to go through at the moment, and I'll be updating people on what that means or could mean to their children and to our students. Recognising, of course, that New Zealand First believes in our upfront investment tertiary policy where we completely do away with the student loan scheme and shift from a financial debt to a skill debt and put in place workforce planning. Workforce planning was removed by this government 2 years ago. So workforce planning, professionalise the careers and transition advice services and have our students compete at point of educational entry. Widen the apprenticeship scheme, have far more internships and apprentices inside the system so that we don't burden our students with debt and actually the country gets a better bang for their buck from the educational dollar. So I'll read through that and see where we go with this. Productivity Commission obviously have put out their report on tertiary education in the last fortnight, so that's another piece of work that I'm having to have a good look at. So all in all, there's always something to do. Okay people, take care, bye.